Hi, everybody. How are you? Good. So Sherry mentioned National Women's History Month. I'm curious, how many of you know when we officially recognized National Women's History Month? What year? It wasn't last year, I'll tell you that much. Any guesses? 78? Is that what I was hearing? 78? Flip it. 1987. Curious, huh? Well, the truth is, women's history has been going on for an awfully long time. In case you hadn't heard. So this morning, in honor of National Women's History Month, I want to tell a story about one of our own, the Reverend Olympia Brown. So Olympia Brown was born in 1835. Her parents were from Vermont, but had a pioneer spirit, and they headed west with their 4 children and settled what probably seemed like a long distance in Michigan. And her father both her parents really were strong supporters of education, and went to the town and said, "We have enough land and we want to build a school on our property." And so they did. Now, when Olympia was a young child, people would say to her, "Girls do not whistle. They do not climb trees. They don't run, and they certainly do not catch frogs." But Olympia did all those things and more. Her mother would say to her, "You can do anything, girls can do anything that boys can do." When she went into town, the women would say to her, "Young girls are to be quiet and not heard." But Olympia knew she had a voice, and she would use it every day. When she was a teenager, she wanted to go to college. Now, at the time, girls rarely left home and went to college, but Olympia left Michigan, headed to Ohio, landed at Antioch College. I know we've got some Antioch graduates here. No? I know Ben Baer, I think he was an Antioch graduate. Landed at Antioch, where she was a deep learner. She would debate and give speeches, much to the disappointment of her male professors. When she finished college, she wanted to be a minister. Women at the time were not supposed to be ministers. They were not to stand up in front of people and speak about religion. Olympia had a different opinion. She went on to become a minister. In 1863, she was ordained by the Universalist Church and then became the Reverend Olympia Brown. And for the next 35 years, she served 5 congregations in Massachusetts and then went back with her family to Michigan. Now, when Olympia was born, women did not have the right to vote. Women had no say in who would be president, who would be their leaders in Congress, who would even be the mayor of their town. Now, as you know, Olympia had a lot to say about that. She traveled through the state of Kansas in a horse and buggy. She spoke to women all over the state about helping them understand why it was important that they have the right to vote. She marched in parades. She wrote letters. She went to visit with members of Congress. She served as the president for the Women's Suffrage Association. And finally, in 1920, when she was 85 years old, Olympia Brown got to vote. Her voice is still being heard, and I want to give the last words to her. She said this: The grandest thing has been the lifting up of the gates and the opening of the doors to the women of America, giving liberty to 27 million women, thus opening to them a new and larger life and a higher ideal. If Olympia could do all that, just imagine what we can do.